Hello, my name is Jack Topkoff, and today we're going to talk about the MP of the blood-brain barrier, as well as the choroid plexus. To start, we will start with the blood-brain barrier. They are blood vessels that vascularize the central nervous system that have unique properties. It allows the vessels to be tightly packed to regulate the movement of ions, molecules, and cells between blood and the interstitial fluid of the brain. Essentially regulating what goes in and out. It also prevents exposure of neurons in the brain to things like drugs, waste products, and variations of normal substances, such as like hormones, that could affect brain functions. There are a few cells that kind of aid in the selective permeability of the blood-brain barrier. Those are endothelial cells, pericytes, pericytes, which is kind of like outside of the cell, or outside of the vesicle, as well, or vessels, as well as astrocytes. Endothelial cells are the bodyguards, essentially, for the brain, and they are capillaries where, like talked before, or like mentioned before, they're really tight, and most substances cannot pass through there. The parasites are kind of like the security guards, is what I came up with. They kind of signal to the astrocytes, endothelial cells, and neurons, regulating cerebral blood flow and the permeability itself. Lastly, astrocytes are kind of like the friendly bartender, kind of wave everybody in. Also has many functions, such as on the capillaries itself. They're kind of wrapped in the astrocytes' perivascular feet. They also provide support by doing so. They assist in neuronal development, alter synaptic activity, as well as replicates to occupy space where neurons died, also called sclerosis. Moving into the choroid plexus, it's located within the meninge layer, the pia mater, which is made of ependymal cells and capillaries. It's the innermost layer below the dura mater and the arachnoid mater. It's found within all of the ventricles of the brain, except the frontal and occipital horn of the lateral ventricles and the cerebral aqueduct. There are two main functions of the choroid plexus: production of the cerebrospinal fluid, as well as the formation of the blood cerebrospinal fluid barrier. CSF, or cerebrospinal fluid, serves as kind of a cushion for the brain, as well as it nourishes the brain and spinal cord, while also removing waste in those same areas. As for the blood cerebrospinal fluid barrier, it's formed by ependymal cells of the choroid plexus, where they kind of face the brain, face the ventricles of the brain. The barrier separates, like it says, blood and cerebrospinal fluid. It prevents harmful substances from entering the brain, as well also allowing harmful substances to go back into the bloodstream. Water is also allowed to pass through here, as it is used to produce cerebrospinal fluid. Thank you so much for your time. This was the MP of the blood-brain barrier and the choroid plexus. And until next time, thanks.